I'm really going to try to stop after this one. But if it's helpful to anybody, I'd really like to put this video together tonight. This sugar estimate is a little trickier than the other estimates for a variety of reasons. How much sugar you're going to need for your canning depends on an awful lot of things. Generally, we're going to just go with real general guidelines here. You want to check your recipes for canning and find out how much sugar is called for in your recipe and estimate how many jars that will fill. You might know from experience how many you get out of a recipe. It's a very inexact science. I would have to do it and make records to be able to even come close, but we're going to take a stab at it. Even with very conservative estimates, if you're doing pickles, sweet pickles, or pickled beets, or pickled anything that calls for sugar, or fruits, you're probably going to want a minimum, in your syrup, you're probably going to want a minimum of 1/3 to 1/2 of a cup of sugar per quart. So that's what we're going to work from. If you know from experience that you use more or less than that, then by all means run numbers on that. But we're going to run numbers on this just so we have a ballpark figure to work with. So if we had a syrup that contained enough to fill around your product, that contained 1/3 of a cup of sugar per quart, then 5 pounds of sugar is going to fill approximately 54 quarts. Trust me, I'm fairly close on that, not too far off. If you're going to use 1/2 cup of sugar on average per quart with the syrup, you're going to be about 36 quarts for a 5-pound bag of sugar. And if we want to round those off even more, we'll round them both down to 30 and 50. So somewhere between 30 and 50 jars for 5 pounds of sugar. You may use much more than that. Some people like a much sweeter product. It might call for much more than that. So you may be using a great deal more, but at least 5 pounds of sugar for every 30 to 50 quarts is going to be our ballpark figure. Then you can go to your cookbook and you can run the numbers precisely. The unknown figure here for me is how much syrup it takes to fill a quart, because that's going to vary a lot if you're canning cherries or you're canning pickles or you're canning grapes. It's just going to vary a lot on how the product fits into the jar. So therefore, I can't give you a solid figure. I can run the numbers on fictitious information, so that's as close as we're going to get. So 30 to 50 quarts is going to be the minimum you'll want to plan on. 30 to 50 quarts will be requiring at least 5 pounds of sugar, and maybe upwards from there. And that's the end of this video. That's all I have to say right now. Thank you. Goodbye.